Okay, calling this meeting to order at 7:05 p.m. Thank you for everyone for being here. Our chair and vice chair are not present, so I'll be running the meeting in their absence. So first order of business, let us do a roll call. Mr. Zach, if you would help us with the roll call.
Sure thing. Commissioner Dolman is not here. Commissioner Shakar is not here yet. Commissioner Adele.
Here.
Commissioner Jones. Here. Commissioner Donovan.
Here.
Commissioner Kanui.
Here.
Commissioner Lant.
Here.
Commissioner Livy.
Livy.
Live.
Every time,
Long live.
Zach, every time.
Commissioner Westfall.
Here.
Commissioner Kumari. Here. And Commissioner DeSaulnier. Not here. Okay.
Okay, at this time, opening it up for public comment. Members of the public may speak on any item that is not on the agenda, but that is within the Education Commission's scope. Is there anybody who is here in the room that wants to make a public comment? No. Was there any, Zach, any emails or phone calls, voicemails?
There were not.
There were none this time. Seeing none, we will move to, we're actually going to skip item number 4 as well because the minutes are not quite ready. So we'll review those perhaps next time to approve them. Moving right along to item number 5, the updates from the 3 strategic pillar ad hoc committees, or subcommittees, I should say. Strategic pillar number 1 is engage. Would you guys like to file an update?
We'd love to engage with you.
Yes, we had a
About our
lively
pillar.
conversation right
Yes.
over there.
Yes, a frigid outdoor conversation. No, it was very pleasant.
Yes, it could have been worse.
Was it on a hill?
It was on a cement block, so
Yes.
pleasant block. I think this doesn't have the same ring to it. So we talked a little bit about an idea that I came up with and spoke with Kayla, who's not here, and Lindsay, to have an event, sort of co-host an event about TK. So as you are probably familiar with, transitional kindergarten is this thing we're doing. Now we've been doing it for a few years, and here in Pleasant Hill, all of our elementary schools offer TK, but they do it all in their own different ways. And we have lots of parents, including a few parents in the room, and Kayla is one of them as well, myself, it's just 3 of us, have children who are very close to entering into TK, but there's not a whole lot of information about the TK programs at the different schools in Pleasant Hill and from Mount Diablo Unified. So we came up with an idea to host a TK fair, sort of a forum for the different schools in Pleasant Hill to come and share their programs and to do sort of a meet and greet with the parent, teacher, student associations, leadership, the principals, and then parents and families to come and gather, ideally somewhere like the library, we thought would be kind of a good idea sometime next year. So it's a little late for registration this time around. This isn't like a recruitment fair, obviously, because people just go where you go. But the idea is to kind of start building community at this sort of starting point around enrollment, and to help parents to know how things work in our TK program in Mount Diablo Unified here in Pleasant Hill, because the information is Not great, I will tell you, as a parent. I've been meeting with lots of folks at my daughter's preschool, and I will tell you that that is the hot topic in Pleasant Hill for amongst those parents is, what the hell? We don't really understand. And so since the programs are really do vary, it would be a great way. We also think it's a great way for us to start connecting with that particular component of our educational landscape, which is something we have not talked as much about.
And so I was told Kyle's because it was something that I had brought up back when I first became an education commissioner, is that everything is very much had been geared towards K through 12, now TK through 12. But one of our goals that we've talked about for various things was reaching out to young families, right? Young families, in the community, and, sometimes young families have younger children than TK and kindergarten. And also is that these are, all preschools are educational institutions here in Pleasant Hill, and they may sometimes need guidance or maybe just a place to come together. We talked about maybe hosting some sort of like a director's roundtable, right? Where we can bring everyone together. Yes, I guess in a way they're each other's competitors, but we don't want to always think about that, right? We want to think about just as a whole in Pleasant Hill that, these are all educators. What can we do? What kind of resources might we be able to offer them? And that kind of fell back on something that Patrick and I had talked about, since we are both within the county system as employees, about doing book giveaways, bringing people in, making some of these things for the younger children, because, the earlier you get these messages to them, the better we are, all along. So when we were having those diversity conversations at the library, when we were talking about doing a book club, this was still a demographic that we weren't talking about. So Patrick and I had talked about what are some good family picture book, good story type things that relate to all of the things that we were talking about, but at a younger demographic.
So these are some ideas that we spoke about in our meeting today, and Lindsay's already done some connection for us with the district. They're very excited about this idea. And so I know Kayla's really interested in helping with this. We have lots of time to plan. So this is something we would do early next winter, or not early next winter, sometime in January next year, in advance of the registration process, just to get people together. And again, this idea is building some community amongst parents and within and connection between parents and the different schools in Pleasant Hill.
And actually for our school district, it starts in January. So we might want to do something more like late fall before the holidays, right? Just to start getting, them in there. And then also finding a way to make sure that, all the things that they need for registration. These are all things, people show up sometimes at registration, they have the date and they have their child's information and they don't have everything. So that is education that we can also give, like knowing like, hey, here is an easy list, because they don't make it easy. You look on that and it's like, click here, click here, click here. So like, because part of my job for my parents when they're exiting for that is I compile that information so that it's easier for them, right? So we want to get that information out to the parents, and especially when we always find that the first child, right? It's like the tester pancake, they don't know all this yet. And they'll know where to look next time once we help them with that.
Just want to understand this, like those kids are going for daycares are for longer hours, right? So if the TK is sending your kid back in like afternoon, so again, it's a questionable, like we are putting so much effort to bring the TK to everyone's plate. So how we are making convenient for parents with hours?
Yeah, and I think that's one of the reasons why I think it's a great idea to bring parents in connection with the district. So that parents can express their questions, express their, like, I think this is still a very relatively new program. I think the schools all have constructed TK in different ways in Pleasant Hill. That's one of the things that a lot of parents have learned. And so, and this is something where too, I think, a good way for parents to connect with other parents at the school where their children will be going and to start building community early on within those school sites.
Just a thought, Jack. Just a thought, Jack, like we are under like same school district and everything is same. Then why we have like all, like he mentioned, like different school have different program for TK. Why don't we have under one umbrella the same program, like unified? So
Like universal?
yeah, kind of for Pleasant Hill. It's a one city, so can't we have like one rule for all school? Like it makes easy for everyone. Different school to different school. I know we cannot go directly and change that, but
It's the
we can
district.
give a thought on that, right?
You have to talk to the district.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, the schools are in Pleasant Hill, but the
Yeah.
school is owned by the district.
Yeah, so let's talk about it to have one community, one rule. I mean, this is just a thought. You can give opinion on that.
No, I mean, sometimes the things that seem the most logical are the hardest to explain to a system that has just existed.
Yeah,
And this is just how, but that's how change happens,
Start.
right?
yeah.
Those are great questions for this future community gathering that we would all, that you will help us plan as part of the Engage pillar. Strategic pillar number 1. So this is one of the things that we'll be working on in our group.
That sounds fantastic.
Just a quick comment, Aaron,
Yes, sir.
on the TK fair. Just a sort of, this is a good kind of reminder on protocols. So of course, the Education Commission is under the auspices of the city, right? So when the Education Commission or any of our other commissions organize an event, it's sort of under City Hall. And so as a result, just make sure that before it's an official event, before you start putting out any information about it on social media, and, just telling folks, hey, we are officially doing this event. Just check in with me first. Let me, and I'm here in the meetings, obviously, but it's always great to just a quick 2-3 sentence summary in an email. I'll get the approval and then I'll let you guys know and then you can run with it from there.
That sounds great. We are very far away from that.
I don't know. It sounds like you're ready to go.
We are at the basic vision stage, but yes, agreed.
Yes.
I love to be part of, I know I'm in a different, but this is something like we really need. So I love to be part of it. So if you guys need to kind of help, we'd love to help you.
We would like everyone to help.
Yeah. And I would say that too, just as a whole, like we all kind of picked an area that spoke to us. But I would, if I'm available, I would love to go to any of these, things as, support. And we would always, come on over. I got we probably will have some chairs to move, some tables to set up, no matter what we're doing. We always use help.
Sounds great. Moving on to strategic pillar number 2, communicate and celebrate. I have continued to share with Jeff basically my automation. I've improved the prompt, so there shouldn't be more errors, but please keep spot checking it to get Pleasant Hill News into the bi-weekly Pleasant Hill, news about the schools into the bi-weekly Pleasant Hill email. And it's been working. It's been going great. I don't think Jeff uses everything. Sometimes by the time I get it to him and he gets it in the thing, whatever it was is long gone. So I'm hoping he kind of just edits at his discretion. I also set up a new email address. I think it's something like phevents@gmail.com. And I created a list in case anybody wants this, by the way, this might be useful list, but I created a list of all the principals and their email address, their name and email address.
Yeah.
What was your, remind me the principal's name?
His name is Nick Gray, and he's from Pleasant Hill Elementary School.
Okay.
He was sick. I know that I have checked on him with the message and email. But now it's almost a month. I have been texting him or emailing him, but not getting any response. So I don't know what's going on.
Well, I talked to, so I sent out a mass email to all the principals saying, hey, send me all the events that you are doing. And none of them responded. I talked to my principal and she's like, they're all super busy this week. So I waited a week or two and I pinged them again. And then they all sent me something. Not all of them, but a lot of them. So, my intention originally was to so I have a list of these events. And I'll send them to Jeff if he wants to publish them. Some I think might have already passed already, but they're all kind of like March, April-ish events. I believe there's one or two that were May. I think we decided at the last meeting to write an Outlook article about events, but Zach, my question, I was gonna write it, but I think there really aren't any that are gonna happen after it gets published, I think. Would you remind me when the publishing date is, like when it goes out?
It's always a month before you're referring to the Outlook newsletter, right? The hard
Correct.
copy newsletter that gets mailed to every resident. So.
Except for Pooja, yeah.
Yeah, and a few others. You're not the only one. So yeah. Oh, you are fantastic. Hey, all right. And your whole apartment building was not getting them, right? Is everybody getting them? Great, great. That is good to hear.
Luckily, I got the time when they had the opening for this commission.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, that time I got them, after that I never got.
Oh, no.
But now I started getting, so
Oh,
thank
good.
you.
Good. That Jeff Gillette, he's who you should thank. I'll let him know.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a month before the next edition. So for example, so we have January, February, March, April. So the next one will be May. So a month before May 1st will be the deadline for the May, June edition.
Okay, so then perhaps, yeah, I mean, I can write it. I just,
Because we meet on the fourth Thursday of the month, we often have this issue where when we have our meeting, the deadline is a few days after the meeting, and that's just by virtue of meeting on the fourth Thursday.
no problem.
Only for article, we should send a separate email. We are getting close to the article, so who is like, the way we get for the meeting agenda, right? As you're attending the meeting or not. Then we can do for article instead of waiting for the last minute of the meeting.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the deadline. I just, the subject that we chose was to publish some events that were going on in the schools. The first question the principals asked me was, is this going to be public? Like, do we want the public to know about some of these events? And it kind of occurred to me, I thought about this a little bit and I thought it's I guess a little weird to publish like just to invite everybody to a middle school event or an elementary school event, but some of them were probably quite open to the public. Some of them were like career days and there were some orchestral performances and things that you could buy a ticket to. So seeing that it's in May, I do recall there's 2 or 3 in May. So I think what I'm proposing is that I slightly tune the article I was going to write to mention these events, but also to mention that we are interested in knowing about these events in the future, maybe, and that this is something that we do and we want to continue to communicate and celebrate. And I don't think I want to publish the email address in the Outlook newsletter to send things to. That doesn't sound like such a good idea, but perhaps.
Because that's only for the 11 principals, right?
Well, yeah, it could. I mean, for now, it could expand, but
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think if a call to action might be, contact. I guess our contact information is already on the website, right? So maybe I would just say something like contact the Education Commission, if you want to. share anything.
Well, I know at least for the high school, I get that some of the advertising with the younger age, you're like, everybody come to. But I mean, I know for like the high school, with the sports and like and then obviously like the orchestra, choir, things where they're having fundraisers and they're trying to raise money or they're trying to sell tickets, that, probably is, but yeah.
That's a good
Like
idea.
everybody come to the kindergarten play and there's like 50 million.
Yeah. Is there is there a place on the website of just stuff like that that I can just go and look up, or?
At least for athletics, you can go to. Every single day athletic.
Okay,
I know for like choir and orchestra and stuff, like there's certain ones that we do, the big ones we do every year and we generally have the dates like now because they're setting the school, calendar.
okay.
So things like that, yeah, we could get, and those are things that we do encourage because we want them to buy
Yeah,
tickets or we
yeah.
want them to donate, things for like raffles and stuff. So yeah, for the high school, that's right. I'm like, that's right. We're the only ones. And I'm like, that's it.
Can
We're the
you-
only high school. So we're,
Can you send it to me? If you have any of it?
yeah, I definitely have some dates for choir. And there's another one that I was like, oh, and I'm like, darn it, like this last year I totally forgot, but every February, every elementary school, middle school and College Park do a show together. It's called the Pleasant Hill Showcase and it's great. It just, and then, because aside from that, there's a high school one that all the high schools in Mount Diablo, but this one is specifically a Pleasant Hill concert where all the elementary schools, like I said, they all do it together. They do individual songs by grade and then they have a song that all the age groups sing together. And that's like a huge big deal at College Park. It's always at College Park. That I'm like, oh my God, this is one of our things that, I want to say it's always like the third Wednesday of February, but I can get, that specific also. The Pleasant
Showcase.
Hill Showcase, yeah, choir showcase.
Okay. Okay, this is good. I think I've got enough to write the article. I can do that.
The music one actually.
They do, they?
I can get that.
It's easy to find. There's College Park Music Department.org or something.
They kind of do it separately as for called cphsmusic.org.
CPHSmusic.org. Got it. Perfect. Yeah, and if you think of it, if you wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, oh yeah, what about this? Just email to me. Okay. Anything else for Pillar 2? Going once, going twice. Sold. Pillar 3, you're up.
I'm like, listen, that's been us the last couple meetings. We keep missing each other, so we're just having to have a topic to talk about.
Yes, strategic pillar 3 connect. What is coming up is next month, we will be having Keisha Nanjawi she's the trustee from Area 3. She's gonna come speak for about 10 minutes. She is in contact with Lindsay. So Lindsay is arranging that because I will be out of town next meeting. And after that, we have in May, Lindsay is working on the Firecracker 5K and Pleasant Hill Library. So those are what's coming up that the Connect Committee has coming for the next 3 months. And Jeannie had a meeting. And that's okay, but how did it go?
She invited three, we invited three city council members. And we found out we couldn't meet with 3, so we could only meet with 2. And so we narrowed it down to 2 and we would tell the third one, we would
Pick your
meet with the
favorite.
third one by himself. Unfortunately, but fortunately, one of them came and we did meet with them. And I thought it was just a good opportunity because she's new. So I don't really know that she knows who we all are, or any of the commissions for that matter. And so it was just, we just spent the time, just briefly telling her about our vision and mission and about the pillars and how we're trying to, really establish the pillars throughout our city by, by doing the three things, by engaging, communicating, connecting. And so we said our part was trying to connect, first of all, with the city council, since we're supposed to be working together, right? And I don't know how much we work together or how much they know about us. So I just thought that was a good opportunity for us to let them know who we were and what we do.
That's fantastic. That's great. Which city council member was it?
Okay. Let me,
Okay. Just curious. We can circle back on that. Yeah, just mostly curious. I don't think there's this needed for the minutes, but. Yeah, it's all district based. Are there any goals or anything that you have in mind that you're trying to accomplish? Other than connecting?
we think it was Amanda.
Okay. Did you guys have, was there any kind of goal or outcome that you're trying to achieve, or was it just mostly just to connect and kind of share, educate? Yeah,
We just wanted them to know who we were.
Yeah.
Or who we are. That's all. And that we exist and we do good things in the city of Pleasant Hill. And we named a few of the things. And so we're just letting them know.
yeah, that's
that-
great.
That we're good people.
And this, just to be clear, this was city council?
Mhm.
Yeah, okay. And were you guys also trying to get in touch with, if I remember correctly, Linda Mayo?
As the trustee, and I never got a response.
Okay. Well, anything else on pillar 3? Any other updates? Excellent.
I have something.
Oh, yes.
Because it's about connect. And you're all talking about things that are going on in Pleasant Hill and maybe putting it into an article, into the Outlook. And I was just wondering, and that was good of the way you pointed out, is this an invite? I mean, do we want this to be an invite? And there are good things happening on these campuses. And I wonder if sometimes we could encourage maybe the principals or somebody to just write an article about what they do. For instance, at Pleasant Hill, not Pleasant Hill, at Sequoia Middle School, they're doing STEAM Avid Night. And STEAM,
Avid.
science.
It's
STEM.
it's
now.
It's
But
STEAM.
now.
It's STEAM now.
It's
The A is
STEAM.
for
It used to
art.
be STEM.
Yeah.
The A is
for
art. Yeah. And
It's STEAM, not STEM.
STEAM, not STEM. So it used to be science, technology.
Arts.
It was the arts, yeah, yeah.
Although some people still keep it pure. I do not add.
Right.
art. I do not add art. We do STEM.
Right.
Africans never shrink, right? They only grow.
So they were doing this and so the principal sought me out and asked me, hey, we really like to have food trucks at this event, right? And so do you know of any? Well, then of course I go to him and say, okay, who are they? Because I don't know of any food trucks that he could call. But what I'm saying is, I wish that they could write something in the Outlook about what these schools are doing, so they could showcase themselves, so that the community will know that, hey, there's really good stuff going on in the schools that are from the school itself who's sharing this event. So people will know what's going on in Pleasant Hill schools. It was just a thought.
Sounds a whole
Well,
lot
I
like
know-
Pillar
I
Two.
was just gonna
Right,
say,
But that, like, the principal that I work with, he says he does these like every week with his school, right? And sometimes you send these things out and you don't even know if anyone's reading them. So I think it would be nice to have like upcoming events type of thing, if we could keep up with it. Right? Like, here's what, just like a small, like this school, like maybe one thing, like a month, or what is this, like every other month?
it comes out
that-
bi-weekly, and it's that's what we do with Jeff. Exactly what we do. The problem is sometimes the delay makes it happen such that the event is before. But most of the time, all of that information is actually usually surfaces its way into the MDUSD Friday newsletter,
Right.
which I digest. But what you're making me think of is, and I think this came up last time too, and I need to pursue it, is to get on all the principals' newsletters. Because they each do one just for the school.
Yep.
And if I can get them to add my PH events at email to it, then they'll just all come in to the inbox.
Right, but that's, yeah, and that's what I'm saying, I know he does one, but again, like, that's the whole thing, is that sometimes a lot of them do it, but you send out to like and you don't even know like how many parents are, and I know that, and like my school that I run is so much smaller, and I still don't know if those families read all the things that, we send home. So like a bullet points type thing, I do see that they do at least notice that. I don't know if they're gonna read the whole body of it, but they will pick up on line item dates and events. So if we had something, like that, where we're just like, hey, here's what,
Yeah.
here's what's coming up, very short, name, date, time, place, kind of thing. And because we made the game show reference, this is really starting to feel like, who gets
Okay, so I'll take the action item to go get those newsletters as well, and then see if I can process them and share the events with Jeff on a regular basis, and see if we can get them into that newsletter, the weekly, bi-weekly Pleasant Hill News. And then the Outlook article, that's probably too infrequent for something like this, but at least we can try and showcase some stuff if we know way ahead in advance. We could even do, it could be a regular thing. We could just throw into every Outlook article we write. It's like a couple sentences on upcoming events if we want. Okay, let's move on to number 6. Any updates on the student public art display? Pooja, I think you have the latest art display, right? Anything exciting?
Nothing new, but except for that, one of our engagement things that we had talked about before was trying to collect, kind of like where the idea last year when I was trying to be like, let's do a display. And we only had like 3 weeks to put it together. But now, since we've been doing this and we have the Art and Wine Festival coming up, whoever has either already had some, because we kind of talked about like people might not get their art projects back kind of thing. If we continue to collect and also put out to see if anybody would like to have something, is we want to try to figure out how we can do some signage, how to get them, kind of veered here, and put some outside, and then potentially look into how we can get all these people who are at the Art and Wine Festival to come see the art that day, not just what is currently on display inside, but to get some extra artwork in the way that we thought about last year, and just doing some like display boards, like if teachers just have like some drawings and some paintings and just putting up like some trifolds.
Oh, it's Shaheen.
So if anybody thinks that they might be able to, start putting that in the teachers, maybe some classrooms who haven't gotten to display yet, stuff that they know that they're not probably gonna get back, if we can get that, in the next month to 6 weeks, then we can kind of divvy it up, who would like to help with this, we're gonna make, some boards and make it part of the Art and Wine Festival to get the families over.
Quick note, just before the discussion goes further, is I did want to point out that at the Art, Wine, and Music Festival, the Education Commission and the other education commissions don't have a booth. It's actually an event put on by the chamber. The event where every commission does have a booth is Light Up the Night.
So.
But with that said, though, one of the reasons why one of the things that we try and leverage with the city booth at the Art, Wine, and Music Festival is to push out information about activities that the city is engaging in. So for example, if you wanted to have a flyer on the art exhibit in City Hall, that would be completely appropriate. And then whoever is volunteering, whether it's an education commissioner or city staff or other commissioners, that would be one of the flyers and the pieces of information that we share with folks.
So, but can we expand for the weekend? Like, could we add more art around this area? And have people just kind of like monitoring, not technically.
Do you mean what location are you?
Like out here, outside.
Oh,
of-
outside? Yeah, I think that the art exhibit is really contained just to those display cases on the first floor of City Hall, which is pretty significant. I mean, it's a good piece of real estate, and it's in a place where anybody can come visit during
And is
work
it-
hours.
Will it be open? Like, if we did a flyer, could we have it available to like, hey, we're showing people like, hey, go over there. You can go right now while you're.
No, only because the festival is on Saturday and Sunday, and City Hall is only open Monday through Friday, so we wouldn't be able to open up just for the weekend for folks to come in and look. However, the folks that get the information about the art exhibit can then come back on any Monday through Friday, when we're open and go and look at the art. And also, if any teachers come to the city booth, or if any students or parents come to the city booth, then not only can they go look at the art, but their school may then want to pick up the baton and try and work to become the next school that has their art displayed.
Not as spectacular as my idea, but I get it. There's rules.
If schools are yet not ready for like next display, because it's been almost 2 months, right, for PHE to display that.
Yeah, we need the next one.
Yeah,
Who's
so,
next?
We had hoped for College Park, but it seems like the timing isn't gonna be good because they have their own things or they have.
and I think from May, no school will be going to entertain with the art because the kids are again busy with the summer vacation, exams, and binding up the session. So can we open up for the public?
Well, actually, what I'm thinking, what I put in the teacher's head and I'm hoping to get an answer back is that once they've done their shows, if there's maybe kids who don't, they're like, they would rather have it there maybe than take it home or what they might have, so that there is something, over the summer, so it doesn't kind of just
All
stop.
middle schools, all elementary schools should have an open house coming up, and they will have a ton of art. So if anybody's got an elementary school or middle school they're representing, actually now would be a great time, I think, to ask. them to
Yeah, let's do mix and match, and we should have one subcommittee who is going to choose the art, because if this is the case, then our showcase will be empty for the summer vacation. So that's how we're gonna fill it up, because we need to keep this running, either via school or via individual contribution.
So anybody, like you were saying, like elementary school or middle school, if you reach out and you just say, can you give me like
Yep.
10 pieces of art, right? And then people can just bring them here, maybe to the May meeting, whatever you've managed to, collect. We can see if it's too much, is it not enough, whatever. See, what we can put there. If it's too much, then like you said, we can just pick
Yeah,
what seems like the best, figure out how many we have per what school is represented
Ex-
and make it
exact
ourselves.
number of painting fits here, it's 48 of this size. Yeah,
So we just need somebody to volunteer to reach out to their schools. I've done it already. Pooja's done it. Anybody else?
To our own school.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reaching out.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But clear this up for me. I need to bring it here and the committee needs to okay 48 pieces of art.
No, you just need to bring it here. Yeah.
do bring it.
Zach, so the way that we've done it is you talk to the teacher, hey, I need some art.
Yeah.
Teacher goes, great, I've got a whole bunch of art and come pick it up. So you pick it up. Maybe they'll come bring it. My teacher came and brought it, and even the principal came, it was kind of amazing. They were so into it. So that might happen, but they need little stands. Then we coordinate with Zach, just let him know, like, this is how many pieces, take a few pictures. Actually, I think you need a picture of all of them, maybe. I can't remember.
Sure.
Yeah, just to, make
So
sure
you
it's
can have a
okay.
catalog.
yeah.
And then yes, schedule a time.
Yeah.
Pooja will join you. She'll remove her thing, you install yours,
Yeah.
and you don't have to do it at the same time, but, and then we'll just do this again in a couple months.
Got it.
It's
Thank
just
you.
no Wednesday. Apart from that, any
No
day will-
Wednesdays.
Yeah, for me,
Okay.
no Wednesday. Yeah.
Thank
Any
you.
other day will
So I have a
work.
question. So we're
Yes.
not on a schedule anymore? I'm really confused by this.
It's a loose schedule, I think, of every 2 months. Basically. And-
And since there was no real schedule for the summer, since school is out, now we're just trying to figure out how we can keep art there during the summer.
But is the goal to have a schedule?
I think,
Yes.
yeah, we talked about it.
Okay, that's fine. I just
Yeah.
don't want to contact the art teacher without hard dates.
Yeah, I would say, here's what I recommend. What's your over under that our teacher's actually gonna reply and bring you art?
I think yes,
Okay,
and I think I could do it. I think it could happen by the end of next month.
okay. So I think next meeting, hopefully it'll be
The
in
end.
process or that'd be great. And then we can just talk about, okay, who's could volunteer for the next one and just start that process. That's what I
Because
recommend.
I think those who's going to collect art from schools for summer, starting September, the starting of the school, they should contact teacher by mid of the May so they can mentally prepare that when school is opening, they have some kind of art collection for city or display. We should inform them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely. So we'll decide next meeting who goes next.
yeah.
Okay, moving on to number 7, update on meet and greet meetings with new council members. Who was running that? I forget. Oh, that was you guys. You just did that, right? Meet and greet with the new council members? Okay, so, right, okay. And yeah, that's great. Number 9 is probably going to be cleared as well. So is there anybody here on the Joint Education Diversity Commission ad hoc subcommittee? Yes.
I am, we have not met, so.
Excellent. Okay. So then I think we can skip number 9 as well because we talked about that. So we can move on to number 10, commissioner reports and announcements. I will go first. Unfortunately, sometime between last night and this morning, somebody went onto the Sequoia Elementary campus and spray painted or drew a hateful image and phrase. I don't know what the phrase was. It's been cleaned up. It was on the blacktop. The school has a newsletter, or not a newsletter, but an email out to the community saying, obviously we don't support this or condone this. It's horrible. If anybody needs any support, if anybody's kids or anything happen to see it and need support, that's available. So just wanted to share with everybody. If you need more information, just let me know. Sequoia, both Sequoias, actually, yeah, I think both Sequoias are technically public parks. The second school ends, which is very strange for a campus to deal with. And they have, they're school sites committee meets with police and the mayor every year. And we try to kind of figure out, oh, should we build a fence? Like, what's the deal? So unfortunately, stuff like this does tend to happen. You know, we've also had like the people have come and taken vegetables from our amazing garden, which, you know, I mean, if they're hungry, then please, but, you know, vandalism is an unfortunate fact of Sequoia life.
Have they talked, you said they talked about getting fencing because Meadow Homes in Concord is like that. And so now they have new fencing, the community park part, you know, is separate. You can't get onto the school, at least from the back, right? So the front of the schools, obviously, there's always areas you have to get, but they had that also. It was just a completely separate where people would come all the time. They were starting to get, you know, a lot of issues. And the fencing worked, and somehow they got the school, you know, same school district at least. So they got them to make that separation.
I think that's on the table. I think the school's working on it. One of the problems is they rent the field out to like AYSO for soccer practice and, you know, other stuff like that. So, but what's that? I know, snack bar, yeah. Yes, we spent a lot of money to fund the garden program, so please don't steal the food. But no, actually, it's okay. They grew it. Somebody eats it. It's fine.
Sequoia Middle or Sequoia Elementary?
I believe both have this problem, actually. At Sequoia Elementary, yes. Okay, any other commissioner reports or announcements?
Have a commissioner
Yes, ma'am.
announcement. Oh, I have a report. Thank you. Valley View lost their beloved librarian yesterday through retirement. It sounded bad when I started. Sorry. I know. It sounded. So she retired sooner than the end of the year. They gave her a very nice send off. And I've spoken with the principal there, and that's Ms. Busimi. And she is up for the idea of Valley View Middle School challenging the other two middle schools to a race of sorts in the Firecracker 5K Family Fun Run. And it's not the fastest school, it's the most participants that wins. And of course, the award is the biggest check. Yeah. So pass that on to the two others. So it's the middle schools.
And she hasn't talked to the other two principals about that?
No, she hasn't. I'm doing this, but I'm not going to speak to the other two. But she may, I'll come back to her. She's gung ho on the idea, and I don't know if she's going to officially challenge them. But so I'm asking you to go to your principal and say, hey, Valley View is challenging us. And what do you think? Of course, we think we've already won.
I love that.
Like, if you guys are the only ones who know, then you have one.
It's going
Right?
to be in the Friday newsletter. I don't think I'm going to get it into tomorrow's newsletter. I think it's going to be in the next one. But you know what I was thinking driving over is College Park gets all the middle schools. So numbers wise, the three middle schools in College Park are about the same size. So I think College Park should be in on this. And I think College Park should be able to beat all of us, like together. If College Park
And
can
is
beat
it-
all of ours together, then you win.
Are we, and is it like family member, you know, like just how many
Participants.
signups, however, you know, participants?
Participants, doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe we need to talk to Dave and Greg and see if dogs can be participants at this point.
Only because we have a split family. We have I have nieces still at Valley View, nephew at, you know, College Park, so we
You're
could
gonna
be
have to
divided.
declare.
I know, we're gonna be like,
House divided.
yeah.
They're gonna have to come with their faces, half one color and half another. Yeah. Okay, that's it.
So yeah, I love that. So you have Sequoia Middle, Valley View, and then you'll need PHMS,
Yes.
PHMS.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's great. Any other commissioner reports / announcements?
So I think I'm the oldest tenured in the last few months, I'll say. It's been quite difficult for me to come to these meetings. Just because of other commitments that I have at College Park and other commissions as well. So officially, this will potentially be my last day as a commissioner in the Education Commission. So I wanted to open up my spot so someone who can make it here every week or every month, and that can contribute in a good way, that I open up my spot.
The Education Commission thanks you for your service. Yeah, thank you.
But what I heard was officially and potentially, like maybe.
Well, I guess I say that because if you need a forum, you're missing someone, you can text me. Make it happen. But the one I understand, there's lots of people interested.
That's great. That's great. Yeah, I think this is my 4-year anniversary, this meeting, or the next one will be, assuming I'm interviewing again next week. If they don't like me, this will also be my last meeting.
Awkward.
Yeah, awkward, yeah, but yeah, it's yes.
Like, she's like, wait a second, like,
Yeah. They make you, write some code live. Okay, well, are there any other commissioner reports announcements? Because otherwise we can't adjourn. This will be one of our, is this the record? This has to be a record.
During my tenure.
Awesome. Okay, I will adjourn the meeting at 7:56 PM. Thank you, everybody.